Hey everybody, quick video to talk about 3 questions that I think are going to help process how are you cultivating a culture of worship off of the stage? Because if you're just preparing, 4 songs and executing them every week, you might execute music at a high level, but you're not going to cultivate a culture of worship that way. So ask yourself these 3 questions, and then I would suggest making changes based on the answers that you come up with. Number 1, ask yourself, where or who do I spend a lot of time with? Practically, you're going to spend a lot of time with other church leaders and musicians. It's the nature of your job. If you're not intentional, that's all you're going to be aware of in your church. And the reality is those people represent a small part of the population of your overall community. And you are not serving primarily other church leaders and musicians. You're serving the congregation as a whole. And so, who are you spending time with? Do you know a lot of people in your church that are not musicians, they're not choir members, they're not guitar players, they're not drummers, they're not other church leaders. They're just people trying to follow Jesus and worship him well. They're going to have very different struggles, challenges, and opinions of what you're doing in worship. Number 2, when and where do you pray for your people and worship? I personally have really found the habit, and this is from Paul Balash, the habit of worshiping in your sanctuary or your auditorium or your worship space sometime during the week alone, privately, really helpful. Worshiping God, remembering that he's present in that room and that he's good, singing through songs, and then specifically praying for people. There's something about knowing where people sit and knowing what's going on in their life as a pastor that I can pray for that person while I'm playing and sing a song over their family. And you really start to invest in your people through prayer and thanksgiving. And number 3, who are you personally discipling? As a worship leader, worship pastor, it's going to be easy for people just to grade you and to just challenge you on what you do on the platform and with your teams. And mentoring musicians is great, but it's not the same as discipling somebody and teaching them how to follow Jesus. And so while there is overlap, and probably you are going to disciple some of your team members, I'd really encourage you to find somebody to pour into and to teach how to follow Jesus that isn't a band member or a tech member, somebody that you're not going to talk shop with, because it's really going to help shape how you think about your whole church. So it kind of goes back to the who do you spend time with. So to recap, who do you spend time with? And are you intentionally spending time with people that are not like you? 2, where and when do you pray for your people in worship? And then 3, who are you personally discipling? Hopefully those questions are going to help unearth things that are going to make you a better leader. And I certainly have found that they've been challenging for me and made me a better leader.